Hello viewers, today we're going to talk about how to hack Grandma's bank account. Oh yeah, we're going deep. I'm going to make a drink and explain to you what you need to do this. So to do this you'll need the following. About £10, $12, this is about the price of a .com, a computer to do all the work on, a server to put your hacks on, the ability to copy words. I'm going to write some code, you can copy it down. I'm not going to put it in the comments anywhere. You're going to have to either OCR a print screen or type it out. You also need absolutely no moral compass, because this is bad, and a slightly longer attention span than the average Zoomer, and the ability to understand sarcasm. Also, some Linux experience is useful, just because I'm going to be using the commander. You can use Windows, but figure it out yourself. And some very basic coding knowledge. Now, I'm going to expect you to type everything, but knowing what a variable is, a database. Okay, right, let's get to it, shall we? First, I made a fake site to hack. Obviously, not going to use a real one. Neither should you. The Bank of Mark. Look at this. It's my website. And with it, crucially, you can log in and you type a username, hello, or Mark, and then my password. Which I won't tell you, of course. Don't save. Don't save. And there you go, it's got my balance in. The fact of the matter is that the website doesn't matter, okay? This will work for any website, okay? What I'm going to show you will work for any website. You can hack any website and steal anyone's password, okay? So basically, the steps we're going to take, okay, the main steps that we're going to do are, we are going to clone the website, we are going to hijack the website by adding in some sneaky code that only we know about. It's server-side, no one will see anything. Then we're going to buy a new domain that looks very similar. So if this is Bank of Mark, it could be the Bank of Mark. Stick a character in there that no one will notice. Like, it's McNally.je. The L looks like a 1. So it could be Bank of, instead of the L's, use 1s. You can think of this. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. This is where you need to use some of your IQ. I'm not going to tell you how to do this bit either. You will then send an email or something. Get a user to input their username and password to your site. Try and get them a link. Send them an email that says, your account needs a reset. Send them to the password reset page that you've cloned. It actually goes to your fake site. Ooh. Then, once they've reset their password, okay, critical part, you're going to, say, redirect them to the incorrect password site of the actual bank or website, or not bank, nothing. You're not actually, hypothetically, you're going to then redirect them to the forgot password. You missed your password, so they're none the wiser. So you'll redirect them to this. You've entered the wrong password, and they click login, they're back on the main website, they are none the wiser. So first of all, we're going to clone the website, and now all we need to do to clone the website is get the username and password, the login form, because that's all we're going to send them. And do you know how you clone a website? Is it really hard and difficult? No. Right click, save page as. Whoa. Is that it? Yes. I'm just going to change its name to index. Right? Index completed. Now, if I use my terminal to navigate to that folder, and then I can open up the folder, the file in my preferred web browser. There's the file there, index. So I can type Firefox index.html, and then it opens. But look, real bank.mcnally.de, fake file, blah 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 blah, because it's my file hosted locally. So just hijacking the user's passwords is like whatever, right? Because all you're going to do is what? Look at them. Then what you're going to do? You're going to store them. Correct. How do we store them? I hear you ask. We need a database. What database are we going to use? We're going to use the easiest one, which is, maybe you got the right answer. It's SQLite is what we're going to use. Maybe a plain text file would be easier, but who cares? You're going to learn something new. This database is just a file. You need to make sure SQLite 3 is installed. So I've made this script here that creates the database for us, okay? So all it does is, our database is going to be called passwords.db. These are the SQL commands. You don't need to know what these do, but all we're doing is creating an ID field, a username field, and a password field, okay? Fails if it already exists, and then it creates it there. So let's create this database. So I run it. Database created. If you want that script, copy it. I'm not going to make this easy for you. You're going to need to do some legwork to hypothetically do this. Don't do it, by the way. This is all a joke. Right. So now I've got this index file as well, and we can open it up. Look at that. Magic. And the secret here is this form section here, right? This is where they put in their name and password. And look, when you click login form, you see the action loggedin.html. All that means, the action, is that it is, that's what it does after you click the button. So we just changed that, okay? And we're going to change it to our server-side script, which I'm going to call yoink, because we're yoinking their passwords. They won't see this, it's all server-side, okay? And HTML, I'm going to change that to PHP, because that's a server-side programming language that we're going to use on the server that they won't see. You need a server. I've now made that change. So change the action to yoink. Now we need to make yoink. So I have made the file yoink.php and I've put this in it. Alright? So we make a connection to our database, which is called passwords.db. Then, right, when you send the form in HTML, it uses get or post. Now gets are those little things that you see in the URL, like the ampersand, yada yada. That's a get, but a post is hidden. It's where you put passwords in, because you don't want to put passwords in your URL, right? Sometimes you see it on old websites, and username equals Mark and password equals yada yada. Not good. So, a post is like that, but you can't see the variables. What you can do with PHP is you can access these post variables. They're inside this array, the underscore post array, just called what they were called in the form. So in the form, it's username and password. And then we assign those to username and password variables. Then we connect to our DB, and then we insert into the database the username and password using the values of the username and password, which we assign here. Just copy this. Then, here is the magic part. Right, even if we fail to insert for some reason, we redirect them to the wrong password page on the real website. They're going to be none the wiser, I promise you. And then if it's successful, we redirect to the same place, because we don't care. We just don't want to know that we've stolen their passwords. Hypothetically, of course. Then we close the connection to the database, okay? So let's see what happens. I'm going to show you inside my database now. There we are. As you can see, we've got the tables made here, and there is currently no data in it, okay? Now we can't just go, because it's running server-side code, this button won't work. I've got to refresh the page. Because it wants, look, we need to download this PHP script. Now that's because our browser doesn't understand PHP really. It does, but what it's trying to do is run server-side code as if it's front-end code, which we don't want. So we need to use a web server to serve this, not just our file system. Thankfully, PHP has a built-in one. This is the command we want to run, okay? We want to run a PHP, need it installed, server, binded to localhost. You can change that if you want, although use a real web server, hypothetically, Apache, Nginx, yada yada. Want to bind it on this port, 8080, because it's accessible. And T, this means document root. What? I don't know. It's an old command. And then dot, which is the current directory which we're in. Enter. Boom. It didn't work. I deleted the dot. Boom. There we go. Development started. So let's copy this link, open it here, paste and go. Wow. Look, Bank of Mark. Note, localhost. I'm going to enter a username and password. Mark. Then you click login. And what's it going to do? Check up here. Boom. It's going to say save password. This will be the user. They'll probably ignore that, as they always do. But look, we're at the wrong password page. The user is none the wiser. Now, look, it accepted the post and then it redirected us. Now I can reopen that database, browse the data. Oh my god, we have got the password. That is how you hypothetically steal passwords. Now I've told you, now you know to educate people and be aware not to do it. Cheers. Meaty.